Hey gang, today we're going to talk about how to graph a polar equation. So we have a polar equation up here. I'm going to do two examples and then I'm going to ask you to do one. So example number 6, it says plot the points and sketch the graph of a polar equation r equals 3 cosine theta. So the first step in graphing this polar equation, this basic polar equation, is to make a table. So I made a table, I provided you with a table that starts with theta going from 0 degrees all the way up to the complete circle of 360 degrees. And you can see that I went through and we divided it up into every 30 degrees. And then you're going to plug these numbers in and you're going to use the calculator to help you figure out what R is. Now, I know in class I told you that I wanted you to uh, use special angles to get the exact answers, but when we're graphing, you can't really get exact answers. If I get the square root of 3 over 2, for example, I wouldn't know where to graph that, as opposed to using my calculator and getting 0.86, which I do know exactly where that is. So long story short, using your graphing calculator is perfectly acceptable here. So let me go ahead and get my pen, and then I can grab my calculator back in here. And we're just going to go ahead and start graphing this. The first thing to make sure is to make sure that your calculator is in degree mode. So you can see here on the 84, I have radian degree mode is highlighted, so I'm good to go. Second quit, and then I'm just going to plug in. So 3 cosine of 0, you can probably do that in your head. That is 3. So we would put a 3 there. And then I need my calculator back so that I can do 3 cosine of 30. 3 cosine 30. Enter, and that's 2.6. So I put in 2.6. And then I'll do one more with you. And then I would do 3 cosine 60. Enter, and I get 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to pause here and I'm going to jump ahead and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of these really quick. And you can just sit back and do this on your own and press pause. And then when you're done, you can check and see whether we got the same answers. Okay, so you can see that I have it filled out now, so you can check your answers and see if you got the same. And then the next step in this problem is going to be to go ahead and start plotting points. So for the first point, it's 0 degrees, 3. So we would go out 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to say that each line here, so 1, 2, 3, so that's 3. So we put a dot there. And then 30 degrees would be the next one, and it's going to be at 2.6. So it's going to be right about there. And then 60 degrees would be at 1.5, so it's going to be right about here. And then 90 degrees is going to be 0, so it's going to be right about here. And then 120 is the next one. Now remember, negative 1.5 means we go backwards. So 120, we would go negative 1.5, which would be right about here. 150 would be this line, 150, and it's going to be negative 2.6, which is right here. And then over here is 180, and that's going to be negative 1, so it's going to go backwards. Oh, that's wrong. It's not negative 1, it's negative 3. So negative 3, that's going to be back where we started. And then 210 would be over here, and we go negative 2.6, so that's on top of that dot. And then 240 would be over here, and that'd be on top of that dot. So notice that a lot of these dots are repeating. So 270 would be back at 0. 300 would be out here at 1.5. And then 2.6, and then 3. So you can see that these dots, as I graph them, they form a circle. So we try and make the circle as best we can, and that's kind of hard with my mouse. But you can see that this particular graph, r equals 3 cosine theta, it forms a circle, and it looks like that. All right. So we're going to do one more. So example 7, this one is 3 plus 2 sine theta, and it's got the same table, same setup. So all we have to do then is plug it in. So we would do 3 plus 2 sine 0, and that's going to be 3. And then we would do 3 plus sine 30, 3 plus 2 sine 30, and that's going to be 4. There, that's a hard 4. And then we do the same thing again with 3 sine 60, so 3 sine, nope, that's wrong, 3 plus 2 sine 60, and that's going to be 4.7. And so you're starting to get the idea. So again, press pause, and you can go ahead and fill in the rest of yours while I do the same, and then we can compare answers. Okay, so you can see here I filled in the blanks, and now I'm ready to start plotting points. So for 0, it's going to be out here at 3. At 30 degrees, it's going to be out here at 4. And at 60 degrees, it's up at 4.7. So right about there. And at 90 degrees, it's all the way up the top at 5. 120 is over here at 4.7. 150 is at 4. 180 is back at 3 again. 210 is down at 2. And 240 is at 1.3. 270 is at 1. 300 is back at 1.3. 330 is back at 2. And then there we go. So you can see this one's not quite a perfect circle. It comes around. It's going to go through there. It's very hard to do this with a mouse. And then it comes around like that, and it goes like that. And it has what I call a little dimple in it, and then it comes around again. So your goal is to try and make that a little bit smoother than what I made it, but you can get the idea of what that's going to look like. So what I would like for you to do is see if you can do number 15. It's the same idea, and see if you can graph number 15. And that's it. And then after you finish number 15, then for homework tonight, I would like you to do polar homework number 4, and just do the first 2. Actually, no, just do number 2 and number 4. Number 2 and number 4, and then you can check your answers down at the bottom. Okay, and then we'll see you in class tomorrow. See you later.